Isn't it just beautiful outside? Look at all the snow. It is a very rare thing to have snow in Southwest Missouri. It only happens a few times a year usually. And while it is super pretty and fun, it is not very good today because I was hoping to do all these projects that require there to be no snow on the ground. And I was hoping to film a whole bunch of things that require no snow. But because snow has happened, I am changing my plans and I'm going to make like more of a vlog update type video. So let's enter the colony and update you guys on everything. Usually my videos have a certain topic I am covering, and I try to stay on that one topic and only talk about things that are important to that topic. Stop chewing my shoe, please. But then there are so many things that are little and short and difficult to make an entire video about, but that get kind of passed over along the way. So I'm going to try this year to do better at making more update videos or vlogs, or just mentioning a whole bunch of these little things that go on in the colony, as well as talking about some of the bigger, more full video things. Okay, so I guess I'll start with the pretty obvious things that you will see. Our feed table, I changed a whole bunch. We used to have 2 pallets set up on one row of cinder blocks, but because we switched our hay feeder, we do not need quite as much space, so 2 entire pallets just to hold 2 little water dishes were a little bit of overkill. So I decided to switch from 2 pallets to 1 pallet on a single row of cinder blocks, and that worked amazing for a while. But then because our deep bedding continues to rise, the water bowls were getting very dirty because the bedding was too close and kept getting spilled into the water. So somewhat recently I have added a second layer, so there are now 2 cinder blocks on each of the 4 corners holding up this pallet. We still have the ramp and the little solid pieces of wood so the rabbits have an easy way to get to the water. Oh, are you going to show us, Rose? You going to show us? It's all iced over here. Oh, that's so cold. There you go. I'm not sure if I properly introduced whoever this is to you. This is Rosalie. She is Ivy's daughter, who was born in the first litter we had from Ivy this fall. And we're planning on keeping her as a breeder and seeing how she does with being a good mom and how big she gets, and possibly keep her as a forever breeder. If she grows too slowly or her mothering skills aren't up to snuff, we will not keep her as a breeder and eat her instead. But I'm hoping that she is a good mom and gets really nice and big, and we can keep her as a forever breeder. I guess now I should introduce all the other kits in here that I'm hoping to keep. But before I do that, we switched the hay feeder, and it's now freestanding, and so it's not hanging on the wall. When we first built this colony, we had the hay feeder over here hanging. We would tie it around this post thing, but as many of you know, rabbits like to poop as they eat, so we were having a very big concentration of poop right there. So I was having to put bedding over that area much more than the other places. So this whole area was being higher than the rest of the colony. So eventually I decided to move the hay feeder from over here to over here so that this area didn't get too high and we could kind of spread out the bedding pudding a little bit more. And we had it over here for a good long while, and as you can see, it might be hard for you to tell. Maybe if I get down better you can see. You can see really easy over here. So all the bedding is this one level, and then it goes way up. I've had to cover this entire, it's a huge old hill over here because they kept pooping over here. And you can see we still have the little ties I used to tie the hay feeder up. So being limited to the pieces of wood around the colony I could hang them on was very limiting and difficult. So I built a little stand for the hay feeder, and now I can move it anywhere I want, really. It's not very stable, and sometimes the rabbits knock it over, so I've had the bungee cord. This bungee cord is mostly just to keep the lid on, but I also have clipped it behind, so it's attached to the wall over here. So it's not as completely free to move anywhere as I'd like it to be eventually. I may upgrade the stand a little bit so it's easier to move around and doesn't tip over as easily. but for now I'm able to regularly move it over a much wider area. So the concentration of poop and therefore the amount of bedding I put in one spot is more evenly spaced. Now that that's out of the way, I guess I can continue with talking about the kits we are keeping as breeders to see how they do. In addition to Rosalie, we are keeping Leandrin. This is Elodie's kit. She was the only black one in Elodie's first litter. She looks almost exactly like Elodie, except for she has a little bit more white on her nose. So if you look closely, you can tell them apart. Can we just take a moment and admire how cute and beautiful and colorful and varied and awesome this is? Look at that. Wouldn't that be like the funnest little pillow? Everything would get chewed if I lay down on them, and I'd probably squish them, but like, can't you imagine like laying on this pile of bunnies? It'd be so fun. Okay, anyways, next to Leandrin is her sister, Willowa, or Willa for short. She is also a broken kit, but she is a broken orange or red or whatever instead of a broken black. She is Leandrin's full sister from the same litter. We kept her. Elodie is a really good mama, and she's really big, and so far her kits are growing very big as well. Even though Leandrin and Willa are 2 weeks younger than Rosalie, they are the same size or even a little bit bigger than she is, so they're growing very quickly. So I'm hoping to keep both the good mothering genetics and the quick growing genetics from both of them. Hopefully they continue to grow well, and hopefully they are eventually good mamas. And then we have Nevaeh. She is from Acrobat's second litter, but Acrobat's first litter she had in the colony. She's a little more skittish than the others because I wasn't able to handle her when she was little. She is a chestnut, and she's so pretty. Acrobat is also a really good mom. She's really hardy, and so far Nevaeh has not been exhibiting any weird escaping behaviors like her mom does. Nevaeh is also very fast growing. A lot of Acrobat kits are growing very quickly, so I'm really happy about that. I'm hoping to keep her good mothering skills as well as her fast growing genetics and have her as a breeder as well. So Nevaeh, Leandrin, Rosalie, and Willowa are the 4 does we are keeping as breeders. If we wanted to, we could have weaned them out with the rest of the kits out into the winter pasture pen, but I figured it would be easier to keep them in here since once they were adults, we would have to move them back in here anyways, and that would be really stressful on everyone involved. So it'd be easier for them to just stay in the colony, since we're pretty sure they are going to be staying in here forever. And right next to Rose, you may notice some cute little babies who are very... Ivanhoe, please stop chewing on me. He loves chewing on me lately, and he's so big. Look how big he is. He's like the sweetest boy. Ivanhoe, sorry. Yeah. Okay, anyways, right next to Rosie, you may notice this thing. You see how fluffy this kit is? This is Tia's kit, the one who had the weird skin issue, who's all better. But are you noticing how fluffy this rabbit looks and how like pure Angora-like it looks? It may be a little difficult for you to tell, but I can tell because I've had both Angora kits and regular fur kits. That's a good comparison. See how fluffy it is? That is not good. It's adorable and super cute, but not good. And it's not only that one kit. We have several more super fluffy babies. So it's looking like Tia's first litter, if not all of them, most of them, oh look, there's another one. Most of them are super, super fluffy and could have, if not Angora fiber that long, at least super long fiber, maybe even as long as regular Angora fiber. So that means I will have to be grooming them a whole bunch and or shaving them a whole bunch, which means a lot more work and stress for me and a lot of stress on them if I want to keep them and butcher them. I was really hoping that because Ivanhoe was a short-furred rabbit, that even though Tia was an Angora rabbit, that her babies would have short fur because the kits would only get one copy of the long fur gene. But it looks like Ivanhoe does have a hidden copy of the long fur gene as well. So the kits have 2 copies and they have super long fur. I believe that's how long fur genetics work. So I'm going to have to reevaluate if I want to keep Tia as a breeder or if I want to switch out Bucks or what I want to do, because if she continues to be a breeder, I'm going to continue to have this issue with having to do a lot more work to eat her kits. Cambria's kits are a little bit younger, and they're so cute. Isn't this so pretty? Don't you just love the speckles of it? It's so pretty. But they are so young that it's still a little hard for me to tell if they're going to be long-furred Angoras or regular short fur rabbits. But it's possible that they'd go either way. Because many of Tia's and Bree's kits are the same color as other rabbits and similar age, it's hard for me to for sure tell whose babies are whose. So it's possible that some of the half Angora babies are short-furred and I just don't notice, but there are most, if not all of them, do have long fur. So it's possible that Tia and Bree will not be forever meat breeders because their kits will have long fur and have to be groomed. I might give them a few more litters and see if things improve or just get a better sense of how it's going to be in the long run. I'd hate to make a hasty decision and not give things enough time to play out fully. So they won't be leaving anytime soon, but it's possible they will not be forever breeders as I hoped they would be. But while we do have them here, isn't that just so cute? All the fluffy bunnies. It's adorable. It's so cute. I just love it. And here's this one. It's so fluffy. It's so fluffy. It's so cute. Oh, in other news, speaking of having to perhaps cull some rabbits, you might notice that Ivy is limping a little bit, and she has this weird tuft kind of sticking out by her foot. See that weird tuft thing? I came in the colony the other day, and she was limping, and it was weird. So I picked her up and checked her over, and what happened is she got a cut like on her chest right above her left leg, so she's limping on the left leg a little bit. So it seems that the fighting in the colony and or Elodie being a really bad herd queen who's too bossy and wounding other rabbits is continuing. Over the summer, Iantha was getting picked on a little bit. She was getting some wounds, but then that went away and she stopped getting hurt, and I thought it was all solved. But Ivy, who is another low doe on the pecking order, has a wound again. I didn't see who wounded her or how it happened, but I am tucking this away in my brain and noticing that it's possible Elodie was being too rough with the other rabbits before, so it's possible that it was her who did it again. She was raised in a cage for most of her life. She was only put in a colony when she was an adult, so she hasn't really grown up with the colony, a way of life, and doesn't have the most proper manners. She also has been hanging around her nest box very much and chasing other rabbits away from it. This is her nest box. This is her. She's just like, there's this little area that she loves to hang out in. So it's possible Ivy got in her space and she attacked her for that or something. I thought she had stopped being a unkind herd queen, but it's possible that she has not stopped or has started back up again. So while I'm not going to take any action, because again, I don't want to make any hasty decisions without having all the information, I will just keep noticing this, and if wounds continue to happen, then I'll have to do something. Hopefully next time something bad happens, I'm able to witness it and see who does it. Because, I don't know, it's possible Ivanhoe. Usually it's the does who fight with each other and cause wounds, but I don't know who did it. So I guess there's a slim possibility Ivanhoe did, but it's also very possible he didn't. So I'll keep my mind open to that possibility as well. But Elodie may be leaving the colony sometime in the future as well. Hopefully she either didn't do it or starts shaping up and stops hurting other rabbits if she did do it. But thankfully, Ivy's wound does not inhibit her from moving around or eating or drinking at all. She can still run. While she does not use her one leg as much, it's not her leg that's wounded. She's like the chest, shoulder area above her leg. She can still hop around easily and eat and drink and do all that stuff. So that is a real blessing. And I have had many rabbits with wounds much worse than hers heal up just fine. I've never had a rabbit get an infection or die from infection or anything like that. So I am very confident that she will heal up on her own by herself and everything will be fine. Something else to mention is that Iantha's litter again died. I cleaned everything out. There was dead babies, a whole bunch of fur in there, but now it's empty and ready for the next rabbit to use. So Iantha's second litter, she did not feed at all and they died. So she is not going to be a colony breeder anymore. It is possible that she is pregnant again, but I'm not going to let her continue to live in here and keep having the cycle of having babies and then not nursing them and them dying. So in a few weeks, right before she's due to give birth, I am going to take her out of the colony, put her in this little colony pen right outside the colony, and let her give birth there. There she'll have one last chance to do a good job. It is possible she will start doing a good job all of a sudden, but most likely she won't because these past 2 litters has been really bad. Then once she is not pregnant anymore and her babies are dead, I will cull her. And even if she does do a good job with her babies, this last litter, her kids were very small, and she herself is very small. So it is possible even if she does start being a good mom, I will cull her anyways, just because when you have meat rabbits, you want big rabbits to grow quickly, and because she's not big and her babies were not big, then she won't be a good fit for my colony anyways. So Antha will for sure be leaving soon. She's that one right there. For sure. Most like 99% sure we'll be leaving our colony soon, so say some of your last goodbyes. But she still has a few weeks until she's due to have babies soon, so she'll have a few more weeks for sure of life. I'm sorry this is also random, but something else I really want to show you. We have a tricolor baby, but not in the usual way. Look at this! It's a broken tort. So technically it's 3 colors. In my opinion, at least. I'm not sure if that's officially what it is. But isn't she so pretty? I'm hoping it's a girl. I don't really entirely know for sure. She's so small. It's hard to tell. But if it is a girl, I'm thinking of keeping her. She's Elodie's baby, and Elodie's a good mom and is big, and her baby's so far growing fast. So she might be a keeper. See all those little specks of gray on her? So white and brown and gray, 3 colors. I've wanted tricolor babies for a long time, and I thought I would have to have a broken doe and harlequin buck or vice versa to get that, but I forgot about torts and the possibility of having a broken tort. This special coloring just like tickles my fancy. It's just so pretty. So I'm really excited to have a tricolor baby. So we have some good news, we have some bad news. Litters are pretty much happening as usual. Elodie took 1 month's break from her first litter to her second litter, and Ivy is now taking a break. I'm not entirely sure how long it will go, but she had a litter, and it's been about a month or so, and she hasn't had another one yet. So she's taking a break. Acrobat is also taking a break. She let her kits out of the burrow a week or so ago, but hasn't filled it back up yet. So we're having a very slow, nice, cold time. We still are having litters, but I don't know, I feel like there's like the fall flush where everyone starts having babies, and then now everyone kind of at the same time is deciding that they don't want to have a litter every single month. So we're just going real slow, having some litters, but not super regularly. It's very nice and relaxing. So I hope you enjoyed this quick and sort of random update about the rabbits. As I mentioned before, there's a whole bunch of just little things that it's hard to dedicate one entire video to, but I still think are important or at least interesting to know. So now you are all caught up on the little things of our meat rabbit colony. Thanks for watching.